wear a yarmulke on the street, someone's going to spit on you. They're not going to give you a job. I don't believe it. I think it's a poor excuse. I don't want anti-Semitism to define us. Hence, I was not offended by what you said. I do find you retreating it from it a little bit tonight, and maybe it's because you felt that you were hit with such a sledgehammer for saying it, that you're terrified of even getting near it. I can understand that too.
It's not my place.
Do you have hatred in your heart to any group? Be honest. Are there people that you look down on? I know it's like too easy a question to answer. It's like what a rhetorical question that is. But do you like short, hairy men?
How do you mean?
What are your core values?
I'm as prejudiced as the next guy. I have prejudices that I deal with every day, and I think in my heart sometimes I have to tell myself, where's that coming from? And it comes from the same things that we all toil with. Jealousy. I get angry when I think that I should have had an opportunity, and rather than being happy for the person who got the opportunity, sometimes I'll take it out on them and besmirch them or their reputation. And that's a failing. It's a failing that, I have to deal with from time to time.
Does that mean you have a prejudice against white people who had it easy? Who you perceive to have had it easy?
No, I do not have a prejudice against white people.
Why stop with the Jews? Why not go after everybody? You got enough problems. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but you do confess that you feel jealous sometimes of people who seem to have had it easier.
Of course.
That's honest and human. Okay, I want to start bringing some of our listeners here, but I have two more questions. Name your 3 most cherished values.
You're tough.
I'm a softie. I'm a softie. I don't think you're a bigoted man. I say it publicly in front of journalists. I don't think you're prejudiced either. I think you're a phenomenally insecure man. But it takes one to know one. I'm very honest about my insecurities. I'm not sure that you were aware of yours before.
I wasn't. And you're right.
You have a very thin skin. Yes. You got offended over nothing. What did he say? He made a couple of jokes about you. What was so offensive? He didn't say you're a child molester. He didn't say you beat your wife. What was so offensive? How thin is your skin, Rick?
I just didn't want to be called dumb. Because I'm not. I worked hard. I was able to go to college on a scholarship. I worked hard to work my way through. I did everything my parents didn't have enough money to put me through school, and I worked to make myself go through school, and it's a foundation of pride and respect that I felt I was losing, and I lashed out. That's all it was. That's all it was, and I was wrong.
I told you last night, it's so funny how we all get offended when people insinuate that we're not so smart. They say that Jimmy Carter has the highest IQ of any modern president. And we all remember that Ronald Reagan was called an idiot, a dunce. Now, whether you are a liberal or a conservative, it's easy at least to discern which presidents, for better or for worse, were more impactful. Let alone the fact that, I told you this last night, Albert Einstein may have been one of the smartest men over the past millennia. He advocated outright pacifism. He said that all of the European nations should disarm. We have no right to fight Hitler. And if it means he wrote, if it means he takes over all of Europe, and we all pay with our lives, so be it. We're not allowed to fight him. That's got to be the dumbest thing I have ever heard. It was deeply immoral. And he repudiated it. He repudiated it because he later supported the building of the most destructive bomb in history. He wrote to Franklin Roosevelt, I believe in 1939, I saw the actual letter, it was in the Smithsonian, encouraging him to build a bomb before the Germans. So he repudiated it. Intelligence doesn't mean good decisions. It's about having convictions. Where are your convictions, Rick? How can you have watched a father so honest, so hardworking, to give you these opportunities? Do you have his convictions? Do you believe in just simple right and wrong, that you're a good man and a successful man based on your integrity?
A great question. That's a great question. I think that compared to my father, I'm not. My father had absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Came to this country without a penny in his pocket. Had to totally remake himself by washing dishes and cleaning toilets and shining shoes and eventually driving a truck and working in a cabinet store where I worked with him. And if he could do everything he's done and feel proud at the end of the day, then I should be ecstatic every day of my life. I should wake up and jump for joy, and I have 4 beautiful children and a wonderful wife. And instead, somehow I allowed myself to become more concerned about what I didn't have rather than what I had. And that was wrong.
Do you think people have to lose something before they appreciate it?
What do you think?
Would you stay on the air, if you had a choice between being on the air and being made abysmal fun of every day by Jon Stewart? If he devoted all 30 minutes on the Daily Show every day, all Rick Sanchez all the time, making fun. And Rick Sanchez is an idiot. What a moron. Today he said Russia was Wyoming. And he said that, and he said George Bush is Vladimir Putin. This guy doesn't have.
I'm schwitzing over here just listening to what you're saying.
But if you had a choice and you could be back on CNN or any network with a national show, but at the cost of being pummeled by Jon Stewart, you are his piñata, and he has a baseball bat beating you to smithereens every day. Would you take the show back?
Yes. And I would smile on my way home every day.
My final question, then we're going to go to yours. This is very quick. 2 choices. May you live a long life. We wish people at least 120 years. Okay? And I hope that you will get your career back, and I'm sure you will, because I think you're showing a level of honesty. I love honest men. I love men who trust the public. See, before, I don't think you trusted the public. You didn't trust them to discern even the criticisms of you. You thought they were going to eat whatever was dished out by any show. Let me confess to a grudging admiration, I have to say, to many things about President George W. Bush, because my people were slaughtered by Hitler and no one stopped him. And whether you think the war in Iraq was wonderful or the worst thing was about oil, whatever it is, I believe he stopped a mass murderer from slaughtering my Arab brothers and sisters, who, the New York Times says, 1.1 million were killed, 300,000 Kurds, 800,000 by Saddam Hussein. And I loved watching Jon Stewart. And he called George Bush a moron every single night. That didn't affect how I saw George Bush. It was funny. It was funny. You learned to laugh at yourself. There are things I think Bush made mistakes about, but his core convictions of that America should spread democracy, I have to say I honestly believe that. It's easy to say that because I don't wear the uniform and I'm not dodging IEDs. The incredible troops who have to implement it, they're the real heroes. I'm sitting in the comfort of the shore saying that, and I recognize that. But you didn't trust the American people to discern. So here's my final question. You should live 120 years, and then one day, you're Catholic?
I am.
Of course. And you're a religious Catholic?
Yes.
So a priest is going to get up and he's going to eulogize you, and you have a choice. You can get up and say one of 2 essential speeches. We're here to remember Rick Sanchez. He was an amazing man. He had ratings of 3.7 million every single night on cable. He won a Peabody. He later starred as himself in a major Hollywood epic called Rick's Life and won an Academy Award. He was recognized on every street corner. People asked him for his autograph. He made millions of dollars. And he lived in a giant mansion. That's one. The other is, here's Rick Sanchez. He was a man of simple decency. Everyone he worked with, whether it was television or whether it was his life after TV where he sold pickles down on the Lower East Side. No, I'm kidding. Everyone he worked with, he gave them dignity. He made his wife always feel desirable, special, brilliant, and he inspired his children to be very good people. And he volunteered 1/5 of his time to those in need. Which would you choose of those 2 eulogies?
B. Quite simple, isn't it?
Because I always find it so ironic that the way we wish to be remembered is not the way we live. Most of what we live for, if a rabbi or a priest got up and actually said the truth, that here's this guy, he neglected his family, but boy, did he have a lot of money. The priest or the rabbi would be run out of the church. It would be vulgar. What a vulgar thing to say. Do you think Bill Gates is a great man? He has saved tens of thousands of lives. I truly honor him. And all his money goes to vaccines in Africa. And I was in Zimbabwe, and I saw what the Gates Foundation is doing there. The antiretrovirals that they make available in all the hospitals in Harare. But do you think when he dies, God forbid, I wish him very, very long life, that his minister's gonna get up and say, we are at the funeral of the richest man in the whole world. It would be disgusting.
Yeah.
People would say, you're a priest? What the hell are you? So Rick, I hope that this has been a bit clarifying. And I want to, as I go to questions, I want to be specific. I do not believe you are anti-Semitic in the slightest. I wouldn't say it, but if I didn't believe it, I don't think you were a bigot, and I don't think you're prejudicial. I think you're wounded, and I think you're a broken American male. So this is for you. And there's nothing wrong.